What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,500 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so very, very much. And yes, we're living a bit of a quarantine life, so we're spending some more time, at home, in the kitchen. We're cooking up some good stuff. So I brought in Terry from, yes, hey, Terry.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am doing well.
Awesome.
Getting ready for this big event tomorrow.
I know, right? Everyone is super excited. Yes. So, Terry, what part of the country are you at right now?
I am in Oregon.
Ooh, okay.
Holding up the West Coast.
Yeah, so how is it out there in Oregon right now?
Well, right by us, we just had a couple towns on fire, just maybe 3 miles from, I'm in Medford, a town called Phoenix, and Talent just pretty much burned to the ground. So we've had fires, we've had smoke. I think they're under control now, but we still have smoke. It was very sad to see whole towns just decimated by the fires. But it looks like our weather's clearing, and that's good. And we still are going to be in the 90s, it looks like, next week. So summer's not over.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Keli's sauces. So how did this unexpected brand come about?
Well, it was, I tell you, it was the most unintentional business and sauce adventure that ever was. It just kind of happened through experiences and through different things. I guess it kind of, in 1980, my husband and I graduated from college and to be teachers. And so we were armed with teaching degrees, and we thought, let's do something really fun. Didn't have kids or anything. And so we thought, well, let's go to the placement office and see where we can apply for jobs someplace warm. So we went there and we found some schools to apply for out in the South Pacific. So we applied in the South Pacific and for teaching jobs, and we ended up getting one in the Marshall Islands, a little island called Madro. And it was to run a school for basically the government officials' kids. They wanted English teachers. They wanted to speak English. The kids spoke Marshallese, but they were not allowed to speak Marshallese in our school. And so it was that was how we got the job, and so it was quite an experience out there. We just fell in love with the people, the culture, and the food, and all the different flavors of sauces and everything. It was like a whole different world. We were taken in by a Hawaiian family that was also stationed on the island, and so they really made us feel at home and helped us absorb into the culture. And mostly they just had the only house on the island that had air conditioning, so they took us in a lot, and it was wonderful. It was only 8 degrees from the equator, so it was very just almost smoldering, hard to breathe hot like I had never experienced before. So anyway, it was a wonderful experience, though, running this school. My husband and I just kind of split up the grades. I did the lower grades, and he did the upper grades. It was K through 8. And so that was kind of where the adventure started. And when our time was up, we ended up coming back to Oregon. And we ended up, we were teaching, but we ended up starting a catering business and doing these events. A friend of mine said, you should come do this. And we had all this kind of island food ideas and then the sauce. And so that kind of was our theme for our catering business. So we did that, and that was great, just finding different events to go to and do food events. And I guess probably the turning point for the sauce was when the daughter of this Hawaiian family that took us in the Marshall Islands, her name was Penny, and she was a little student in my class. I think she was second grade when I had her in my class. And she came to visit us in Oregon. They had gone back to Madro, And we had stayed very close. So she came to visit in Oregon, and she did a couple of these events with us and saw how popular the sauce was. And she says, we're going to get this in a bottle. So while I'm here. So we did. We cooked up a bunch and filled bottles, and she helped us make a label to kind of keep the island influence on it. And so that was kind of the first teriyaki sauce was made. And so she helped us design the label and everything. So we named the company Keli's, which is Terry in Hawaiian. Oh. And we named the company after her, which is Ipo. Her name was Penny Ipo. And so we named the sauce company Ipo Sauce Company. So that was kind of how the sauce first started going. And since then, we've just had, it's been one, and this was always a side thing, kind of, and it was just one thing after another. A salesperson friend of mine said, "Do you want me to go sell this for you?" And I said, "Well, okay." So he got some pretty large accounts, some retail accounts, and he got some food service accounts. So it's like, well, I need a factory. So then I had to go source a factory, and so the first factory I had was just a kick. I think back in those days, I have pictures. We made our own sauce, but we used their facility. So we're all on step ladders with boat paddles stirring this sauce in a kettle, and then it goes into their line where they bottled it. So those are pretty interesting times.
Wow.
And then I ended up getting, the salesman friend of mine ended up getting a Costco. So I had to have a factory that could put out more than just what we could do at one kettle at a time. So I got a bigger factory that could supply that need. So it just kind of worked into these retail sales and wholesale food service, like restaurants is probably our biggest business. And then the online, of course, that's kind of where everything is going during this pandemic. That really kept us afloat because, of course, my restaurants quit ordering.
Yeah.
So there was but the online was just, booming. So it was wonderful. It was just a blessing to have different channels and how that one just blossomed,
Indeed.
and the retail. So, so I mean, all in all, it's been a wonderful family business. It's been, I think we've been doing it for 30 years, and it's so many different areas, but I think about how it's just been wonderful for the family. The kids have, it just really taught them a really good work ethic because it's always been really hard, long, things when we're doing events or whatever. And just, I think, the entrepreneur spirit, which I love that all of them have. None of them want to do an 8-to-5 job. They want to have a business, Yeah. So that's just been kind of the story of the sauce, and then we've expanded into different flavors, of course. And I've kept the island theme. And the other thing that I didn't mention, and the gluten-free part of it, was when I was recreating one of the sauces from the islands when we were out there. I came back to Oregon. I used a gluten-free soy sauce that was less salty. And I liked the flavor of that. And so it ended up being a real asset because it was gluten-free, it was a lower in sodium, and so it ended up being a real asset in the sales. So for people that have gluten issues. And so for schools and for care centers and hospitals, that's been a really nice niche. So I've kept that theme throughout all of the sauces that I've done, because that's, I just realized how many people really need the gluten-free option. So
absolutely. Well, being that I'm someone of Caribbean descent, so I was really super excited about getting the sauces, the different flavors. How did you guys come up with the different flavors?
The very first original teriyaki that we bottled was wonderful, but I've always been a fan of spice. And it's like, I'm going to spice this up.
Yes, I love spice.
So I had a spicy version made of that, just the same flavor, but just some sauce in it, a hot capsicum, peppers in it. And it was really kind of nice how it kind of hit you. You tasted the flavor, and then it kind of hit you in the back of the throat. And then there was another sauce that was very popular over there, and they called it a Polynesian cream sweet and sour. And so I kind of recreated that. We call it our sweet and tangy orange sauce, but it's a very unique. It's got a little bit of mustard in it. It's not like your typical clear sweet and sour.
Right.
So this one is more versatile. It works as a salad dressing. It's also just delicious over. Well, it's actually designed as a dip for shrimp,
right.
And that kind of thing. But works as a glaze. So anyway, we recreated that one, and then I kept getting from restaurants that our sauces were all thick, and that could I make something thinner. So I ended up making one with pineapple juice and a thinner, more of a stir fry. So that's our pineapple Hawaiian luau. And then, of course, it's like, well, I want a spicy version of this. So I made our Pele sriracha.
Yes.
And so it's a spicy version of our marinade. So that's where I'm at today. I have many more that we're working on different flavors and that kind of thing. But I think we'll just keep the gluten-free theme throughout.
Yeah, because that seems that maybe that was kind of the key ingredient, so to speak.
I think it's been a good niche for me. It's been good, and I feel like people I get emails from and reorders from people all over the country that just are really thankful that we have a sauce that's gluten-free that tastes so good.
Absolutely.
That they can eat it.
So Terry, last but certainly not least, I know that you're going to be, front and center. You guys are going to be all in and through the Nourishment Festival today, tomorrow, and whenever anyone hears this. But where can people go to find out more information about the brand? Of course, ordering some sauces and following you guys.
Well, trykelis.com is our website, and we have a Facebook, but I tell you what, I don't use it very often. I should, but that's if you want to talk about how we're going to grow in the future, we're going to do more online and more of the social media type marketing. That's something that I haven't done a lot of. I do events. I do shows. I visit restaurants. I do more person to person, and so this is new to me. And so I think this is something that the kids will probably take and run with more, the online part of it. But for now, you can get a hold of us through our website, trykelis.com.
I love it. Terry, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Ash, I really love what you do, and I just appreciate you reaching out. It was very, very special for you to reach out.
Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate you guys and everyone that's here that's been supporting the movement, which is ashsaidit.com. Keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do. You look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.